Genghis Khan was civilized or uncivilized. The prosecution's job is going to say that he is uncivilized and was nasty, nasty person. The defendants and the defense side, they're trying to get Genghis Khan not to be guilty and to say that Genghis Khan was very civilized. Okay? So that's where we're going to start. We are, if you guys look at these papers that I handed out, it goes in order. We are going to call the prosecution witnesses first and then move to the defense. And after every witness, after the prosecution questions the witness, then the defense will get to cross-examine the witness. And then we will move in that pattern until we're through all the witnesses. Genghis, you cannot speak until you are called onto the witness stand. And unfortunately, my friend, you are the very last person. Okay? So,
order?
if you want to, you can go by the order on this paper, or you can go by an order that you've already created. Okay? But I gave you this paper so that you guys can take notes on it. Everybody in the class, you are to be taking notes on this about what each witness says. Okay? I don't know what the little line is. I just didn't delete it. Huh? The little line is irrelevant.
It's for the name of the person.
You could put the name of the person there if you want. That's fine.
We're just taking notes on what they're saying.
What they're saying and like how they feel about Genghis.
Okay.
We don't have to take
Yes, sir.
ourselves.
You need one of these. Did anybody else
Everyone
get
has
one? Sorry.
Do we need to take notes on
I'll think
ourselves?
of questions. You just need to know your
Is there
position.
Straucus? Genghis?
This one, yes, sir.
We don't have the Revenge.
You just need to know the
Jurors,
theory. I'll think of questions.
thank you for coming. You guys are taking notes so that you can come to a sound decision on Friday.
Then the Warriors.
Okay? Because you're here, you guys are all going to be here today, tomorrow, and Friday. Thank you. You guys are wonderful. I appreciate it. I kind of figured that making these guys the jurors and the witnesses really wouldn't serve any purpose because they know who Genghis Khan is, whereas some of you do, most of you don't. Sorry, Ryan, you know too. She's like, yeah, I do. All right, so are you guys ready?
Prosecution, right?
All right, prosecution, can you please call your first witness?
Wait, what about?
Wait, what about our opening
Oh, opening statements. Yeah, sorry. Everybody is silent, or else I'm going to start banging my gavel.
Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. Sometimes they both grow into deadly forms, forms capable of doing harm upon others. Indeed, men and bacteria have much in common. For example, when scientists seek to determine whether a certain bacteria is harmful or helpful to other living organisms, they do not look at what the bacteria seeks to achieve. They instead look at how the bacteria goes about reaching its goal. They analyze the methods of the bacteria. In the human context, when we look at murderers, rapists, and other villainous figures, we don't care about what ends they sought to achieve. We look at their means and their methods, the way they went about carrying out their goals. Once we find them guilty, we brand them as uncivilized and throw them in prison to rot. Now at this point, you are all asking, what does this have to do with the trial? It's simple, really. The end result of the conquest known by Genghis Khan and his successors is meaningless. What we are focusing on is their methods. Genghis Khan and the Mongols used threats, murder, rape, extortion, theft, slavery, arson, torture, and many more uncivilized methods to expand their empire. Such actions are considered barbaric in modern age, and so it does not matter that the Mongolian Empire existed thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. Their actions are still uncivilized, and it is the duty of this court to correct the atrocities committed by Genghis Khan and his successors. In short, we have decisive evidence and decisive witnesses. What else could possibly be necessary?
Okay, the defense opening statement.
My defendant, Genghis Khan, is undoubtedly innocent in being a civilized member of society. It is important that we know today what civilized means, else our ruling will be unjust. So to civilize something, you are bringing it to, and I quote, a stage of social, cultural, and moral development that is more advanced. My defendant and his successors united the world under their rule, bringing many significant economical, social, and cultural changes that benefited people as a whole, thus making Genghis Khan an impeccable, immaculate, innocent, and most importantly, civilized sovereign. You will see this in his witnesses today who led a safe, free life under Mongolian rule.
Okay, prosecution. Call your first witness.
The prosecution shall call the bulk shopkeeper to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Shopkeeper, and I keep a shop in bulk.
Now, would you please explain exactly what Genghis Khan has done to you and maybe your profession as well?
Well, he conquered the city of Bulk. He destroyed our city using fire and burnt everything to the ground, including my shop. So I no longer have a way of making money.
And if you were to estimate how many people died in this burning of bulk, what would you say?
Hundreds.
Hundreds of people died in the burning of bulk. Now, I believe you mentioned that he forced you to pay tribute to him against your will. So you had no means of making money, and yet Genghis Khan forced you to pay him for burning down your city.
Correct.
And you didn't get anything in return for this tribute. You did not get... Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this woman had her shop burned down, her only means of economic support burned down, and yet she was forced to pay tribute to a foreign conqueror with nothing in return. And economically, as a shopkeeper, you were no longer able to support yourself. That is correct.
Yes.
Can we call it civilization when one's means of profession, life, liberty, property, and happiness is destroyed, all for what? To expand Genghis Khan's empire. That is all.
Oh, no. Bulk shopkeeper, stay right there. Would the defense like to cross-examine?
Yes. Don't we cross-examine after?
Okay. This shopkeeper. When Genghis Khan and his army were invading Balkh, what did they do?
They killed our people. They used violence. They took our other women, and they destroyed our buildings. They used archery and their horses.
Before they entered the empire, did they give you an option to allow them to come in freely?
Well, yes, it was an option, but not a very fair option.
An option. What was the option?
Either join them or die.
Join them. What did you do?
We involuntarily joined them.
But you just said that they destroyed everything you knew. But you voluntarily joined their empire.
No, they conquered us.
No, you didn't voluntarily. Did you join the empire or did they, or not?
Do this.
So I think what he's trying to ask is, did you agree willingly to join the empire when they asked you if you wanted to join the empire?
Prosecution has an objection to this line of questioning.
No objections, Nick.
Can I add
No, you're
something?
not. You're answering the
Okay.
You
question.
have to say overruled.
Overruled. Whatever.
Did you allow them to come in freely?
No.
No. You resisted. And they destroyed everything you owned. What would have happened if you joined their empire and didn't resist?
Not sure, because we do that.
Well, if you did that, the empire would have simply taken over your land, and they would have given you religious freedoms, and everything else they gave to the previous citizens of the empire. But since you resisted, they came in and destroyed everything you owned. Because their goal...
Can you put this in a form of a question? This isn't a question, it's more of a statement.
Okay.
Objection, badgering the witness.
Okay. It's a statement. I already told him to put it in a question. I don't know what to tell you. Ah! Go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
So, You resisted. And what happened?
I believe that's what
I
you
already
declared.
told you.
I would like to add to my attorney's defense. I would like to.
You guys don't have to keep standing up.
Oh, we don't have to stand up? Oh, thank God.
What my fellow attorney was trying to point out is that if you had accepted
No,
the
no,
role,
no. It has to be a question.
if you had accepted the role, what would have happened?
I already said I don't know. because I
Objection,
didn't accept it.
speculation.
Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened. They didn't tell you that they would allow free religion and all the other things that they allow to every single other or city that goes under their rule willingly.
You can answer however you want to answer.
No.
No, they didn't tell you.
I have another question. What was trade like before the Mongols conquered your city?
Fine, I guess.
Was it really good?
It was average,
But it was going good, right?
I guess.
Do you know why? Most of your merchants came from the east, correct?
Yes.
And the Mongols were at the east, correct?
Yes.
And they made trade routes, correct?
This is
I
more
am
than 12
done.
questions. Comment down there, Apollo Justice. Alright, we call another witness.
Yeah.
The prosecution would call Pope Innocent IV to the stand.
What?
You skip it.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
I'm Pope Innocent IV, and I'm Pope.
Now, would you please explain how your relation with Genghis Khan came to be?
His grandson, the Greek Khan, was on a conquest in Western Europe, and he was attacking Christian European countries. So I sent a letter to him and asked him to stop his conquest.
And this was a peaceful letter, correct?
Yeah.
Can you say exactly what you said to him?
I don't have exactly. I just asked him politely to stop his conquest and stop attacking all the countries and killing people.
And how did he respond to this letter?
He refused, and he demanded that I and all the monarchs of Europe submit to Mongol rule.
He demanded that you all submit to Mongol rule. If civilization is to include a respect for humankind, how can forcing someone who has asked you to politely stop your conquest be called respecting human dignity? Could you name any specific violent acts that occurred under the command of Genghis Khan in Western Europe?
He captured many cities, killing many people, and he defeated the countries of Poland and Hungary.
Now, the defense has pointed out that Genghis Khan gave everyone a chance to submit before he attacked them, correct?
Yeah.
But were there not thousands of people who had no say in whether or not they were going to submit, who died in his conquests?
Yes.
The ruling class had the final say in whether or not they were going to submit.
Yes.